Hello, Hoomans. It is I, Numa Guy, and welcome everyone to the second episode of my very first YouTube exclusive series, Kerbal Space Program Realism Overhaul Mod. How you guys doing? I'm doing fantastic. Hope you guys had at the time of recording this, it is December 28th. So we've had a little bit of post-Christmas. Happy Christmas to everyone who celebrates it. If not, just happy holidays. As you can see, I have decorated my Numa can, so now it has a little bit more color rather than just the grayness to it. And I believe I have fixed the problem we were having last episode. If you guys recall, we launched our first Stallion rockets last episode, and we were just so close of hitting space, just so shy, just like a little bit of extra oomph. And I have discovered that this rocket is very small. Any additional weight is bad weight. And what was happening was my fins here were a little too big to get us to space. So what I've done is I have reduced the length of it to this number here, but whichever small number works. Like I think under 0.2, slightly over 0.1 works. So you don't want it too small. If it's too small, it's not gonna get any kind of. You do want it to stabilize your rocket and be in the air. And I just reduced the offset so that it does create some drag, like I said, to keep us stabilized. I messed around with it in the simulation here to see what is the best, and really this is just about enough. And if you look at, which I probably should have done it before even simulating, the aerodynamics, if you remove the bottom booster, the blue ball should always be below the yellow ball to make sure you're going where you want to go. And this is just slightly a hair below the yellow ball, which is honestly perfect. It means we're not adding extra mass, and we have just enough fins to get us going straight. And of course, as this, as our fuel empties, so if we look at remove all tanks, yeah, I guess the engine's not very heavy. If the engine was heavier, as the fuel empties, the ball will go below. But because the engine is not very heavy, as our fuel empties the middle one first, the center mass will go up and up and up, which makes us even more stable as we're hitting the faster speeds in the atmosphere. And then the top tank will empty and the ball will go back down. But by then, we're already past the thickest part of the atmosphere, so there's less to worry about. Let's just refuel the tanks there. And reattach this, and we're good to go. So those are the edits I made to this. Was there anything else I made? Did I change the decoupler? Oh yeah, we definitely don't need this. That's we don't need any force to remove the decoupling from the lower rocket, because our engine is our force to displace us. This will be done, it won't be moving anymore, so it's gonna have to drop down below us, or directly below us. There's nothing to worry about. It's not gonna interfere with our rocket. We're going straight up. Yes, that is to save, although it doesn't really save much mass, but still, it just saves on money, really. Does it change anything? I think our mass is practically the same thing, so it doesn't change anything, but it's still, you don't need to have it there, so why have it? Yeah, it doesn't change anything. It's fine. It's fine. So that's it for the Numa can. So we're gonna go ahead and hit save edit. Boom. That's that rocket. But now we're gonna talk about a second rocket. The second rocket will be to reach suborbital and return and not explode, ideally. So we have this one here. All we gotta do is go suborbital, so 140 kilometers in the air. Let's reach space and then return home safely, probably via parachute. You know, I doubt we can add some wings on that and then just land safely. That's probably going to be not in my wheelhouse. Let's accept that. Although if we had space planes, if I knew how to build space planes, that probably could be an option. Attach some rockets to the planes, go up straight, hit suborbital, and then just glide your way down to the KSP. That'd be nice. That'd be neat. All right, we're gonna go ahead and hit the new button. Boom. We don't need this. Go away. We, instead of hitting any regular avionics like the Whack Corporal or the Aero B sounding rocket, we're gonna go ahead and hit the avionics procedural. Boom. And I think the width I needed, if I recall correctly, was 1.5 meters. We can always adjust this, not a big deal. And I do want some electric charge on this. I don't want too much to be too heavy. Although honestly, this rocket is gonna go quite far. This is gonna be a very strong rocket. And also, by extension, very heavy. It's gonna have two purposes. This rocket is gonna have the purpose of A, going to space, B, returning, and then C, also getting some important science for us, such as the camera, the film camera science. So I think actually, because let me just see now. If I go put on a parachute, this is the only parachute I have that's in line, which kind of sucks. Oh, it's a little smaller. Okay, we can adjust and make it smaller. I thought, for whatever reason, I thought we would have like a modular parachute, but I don't have a modular parachute. I have either, you know, radial parachutes, cone parachutes, which is good for the tip of the nose. That's an option as well. Or I have the, you know, this inline, but only of this size. And even then, for the cones, I don't have much smaller. I think it's my smallest cone parachute I have, which is not very small in comparison. There's also the Mercury, which is tiny, but I actually don't know what that one's good for. Yeah, I think it's just the probe core. I'm just returning this little core here. So I guess it's good for this mission. I could have stuck this onto the tin can, and a probe core now would have been good for the mission. But we want a little bit more than just the tin can. We want to, like I said, we also want to get some science in from the photography thing. Let's just adjust this diameter till we're just about. So that's smaller. That's too big. What? 1.225 sounds about right. Looks a slightly bit smaller. 1.223 or 1.23, I mean to say. All right, the classic 1, 2, 3. That's what we're gonna go for. 1 meter, 230 centimeters. No, 1 meter, 230 millimeters. Okay, telemetry on. Like I said, we wanted the science, which is here. Early film camera, which conveniently is the exact same diameter. Love it, absolutely. And then let's just throw on these guys. We have the thermometer, and on the other side we have the barometer. The biological sample I would love to, but it's a little too small for now. We're gonna build another rocket, probably in this episode. If not this episode, definitely in the next episode, to get us the biosamplers. And I think the biosampler does not need to go all the way to space for the first mission. We'll see when we get there. So we're gonna put this inside, push, and push. Just to avoid drag. Boom. All right, then the classic tanks on top. Nope, not like that. Like that. We're gonna make this smooth cone, peaked. Give this a top of 0. And a bottom of 1.23, we said, right? There we go. Stop the 1 meter for now. We're gonna copy that. Is that here? Oops, 1.23. We could add decoupler to this. That it only returns this little capsule. We'll see if it's necessary. Because we're not gonna go straight up. We're not gonna go straight up and go hide into space. So I don't think the decoupler is necessary to return this. I think we'll keep it on as is. The more we can return, the more money we'll get back. So there's that. So the money we're putting into, some of it will come back because we're returning the actual parts. The fuel is gone for sure, but at least the tanks themselves can be returned. And then finally, the engine, which we're not going to be using the Aerobee. The Aerobee is A, way too small. Also B, way too weak for this kind of job. We're going to go ahead and use the, is it the RD? Is that what it's called? Yeah, RD100. Flop, which conveniently fits the right diameter. Look at that. No fudging necessary. Okay, and if we go ahead and look at this engine, it has a rated burn time of 70 seconds. So we're gonna have to make sure we have 70 seconds worth of fuel in here. Also, did it require pressurization? Here we are. Ground support clamps. Okay, so I have to ignite it on the ground. I can't ignite it in the air. And subject to ullage, but nothing to say about pressurization. Fantastic. Also, I want to point out as well, this engine offers gimbal. So if we had enough avionics to maintain control of this rocket while we're flying, we could direct the rocket ourselves. We can be the captains of our very own rocket. It's not going to be the goal for this particular launch, but if not, the next episode and the episode following that, we'll be using the gimballing for sure and giving us enough avionics to fly around. For now, we don't even want any avionics. Like, once we launch, it's going to be locked in place. You go ahead and do your thing. Speaking of which, I think we put the science in, but we didn't start the science. Dang. All right, let's sell this. Sell this piece. Early camera. Turn that on. Thermometer. Boom. Turn that on. Barometer. Boom. Turn that on. All right. Shut it in now. I do that quite often, especially on my live streams. I would forget to turn on the science equipment, stuff them inside, and be like, yes, well, can't turn it on now because it's within my rocket. So it's adding extra weight and cost for nothing. Not that the cost is very much. I think it's like literally $1 Kerbal buck for those equipments. Boom. All right. So let's now put 70 seconds worth of fuel in here. So that's a minute and 10 seconds. We could put a minute and 5 seconds. We can go a little bit higher too, but I want at least a minimum of a minute and 5 seconds. No, a minute and 15 seconds. Sorry, I can't math. A minute and 10 plus 5 seconds equals a minute and 15. Numa, good boy. All right. Ooh, we can probably go to 3 meters. We probably even go to 4 meters. Oh, look at this long rocket. All right, 4 meters in length. Gets us closer. 6 meters. All right, we're approaching. Let's start adding 100 millimeters now. So a decameter. Go to set to halfway. 6.5. Okay. Actually, let's go to 7 then. $7.2 gets us there. Fantastic. We are a little bit over, but that's fine. A little bit over gives us extra thrust. And look at that delta V. We are insanely. I think our last rocket was like 2,500, right? We're sitting at 3,500. Already 1,000 more delta V than the last rocket. And no boost is required, although we do need fins. We do need fins. Now this is where it gets a little bit more complex because this engine is quite heavy compared to the Aerobee. So let's put on the wings. Put on 4 of them. Go as low as we can. Boom. All right, now just to give you an example of the center of mass, we'll put on the center wing lift just to see how it is comparatively. Center of mass is here. If we were to empty this tank, because we are going to empty it first, center mass lifts because this tank is still heavy, and then we empty out this tank, center of mass drags way down. Boom. So we actually want our wings to be below this number here, this center of mass here, because this engine is very heavy compared to what's up here. We could actually add extra payload weight by adding like a ballast or like a lead container here. That's going to add extra weight to our rocket though, which means we won't go as high up or as far. It's an option instead of adding on wings. We have the ability to add on wings. Why don't we just do that? So, I don't think we want to reduce the force multiplier of these wings because they are going to be going through a lot of air resistance early on because of how efficient this rocket is compared to the air. Not efficient, but like stronger this rocket is. Maybe it'll go down to. Let's try 0.25. Because they don't want ripping it apart in atmosphere. Let's just try 3. Let's try 3. All right. And as you saw, the center of mass lift up a little bit because the wings are adding weight after all. Now let's modify the wings. Oops. Okay. So, the thickness can go down to near 0. The tips don't have to go down to 0 because we do want some control surface as well. That's maybe a little too high still. All right, let's try that, and then bring this down to this number. All right, as you can see, that center mass is indeed lifting. So we had a point where, yeah. The ball was real close. No. Technically speaking, the ball here is below the center of mass, though we are very close to it. It just has an offset. And we can offset quite a bit due to how low the engine is. By reducing our drag, also reducing the effectiveness of our wings, but that's okay for now. We can always increase the length. All right, dudes, I think it's pretty darn close. Maybe we want just a little bit of extra width on the tip. Just to get us slightly lower than where we are right now. There you go. So now we're definitely below center of mass. That should do it. It's as light as we can get. And if we add the fuel back in, boom, and boom, we are far enough below center of mass. We'll be fine. We'll be swimmingly going through the atmosphere. This is turned on, indeed. This is turned on. Now the next thing I need to deal with is how much electric charge do I want on this vehicle? I wish there was a way of it telling me, because I need electric charge for this early film camera. Well, I think it does tell me how long I have electric charge for, right? That would tell me somewhere. Also, look at how expensive this rocket is when we don't tool it. 443 days. Yes, this rocket is going to be expensive. Once we start tooling it, though, it won't be nearly that expensive. Just on that one. It will cost us some money to tool it, though, of course. But we'll be using this rocket multiple times, if not just for the film camera on its own. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to figure out how to look at electric charge that you have available, and then I'll come talk to you guys. All right, Hoomans, I'm back. So it was quite simply, was right here on this this tip here. It's really like one of the closest, the important ones to look at. Electric charge I have for 2 days and 20 hours. So that is far too much. I think we need like, I think at most like 10 minutes worth of electric charge. Yes, the science core itself is like 20 minutes long to do its science stuff, but we're not gonna be in space for 20 minutes. I think we'll be above ground for like 10 minutes. This is 2 days, which is extraordinarily too much. Go down to 2,000 then. Eight hours. Does that also change the width of this? Because we also want it to be lighter too. All right. So if we go on to 200. And now, oh, I don't think we can go any lower. Why do we go to 300? Okay, 100. Gives us an hour. Yeah. I think that's totally fine. An hour is like overkill in terms of electric charge that we need. So we're not going to be gimballing. We're not going to be controlling anything. All we need electric charge for is the early film camera to actually take the photos. This makes this lighter and a little cheaper. Look at that. We went from 400 whatever days to 355 days because the avionics is smaller and cheaper. I think if we do science core, it makes it way cheaper, but I think it removes the electric charge ability. I think. Oh no, it's still electric charge. Ah, and there you go. 24 minutes, which is just what we want. Fantastic. We're not controlling anything. We're just making it go to space. That's it. All right, I think 24 minutes is the exact proper number to have. And we'll see if we end up needing more electric charge, we'll add more electric charge. It's not a big deal. That's what these tests are for. Now, before we head off into space and build this rocket, and why don't we paint it a little bit? We go here, we can apply legacy textures. Now we got all these different kind of textures. Now what would look for this rocket here? What would look nice? I like the orange tip we had on the tin can. That got this kind of gold foil tip. Ooh, that red was nice. Boom. The Mew. Same for here. And we all know red means you go faster. That's how it is for cars. Red cars are the fastest cars. So red makes you go faster. Let's do that. All right. Let's name this rocket. Oh. We can call this rocket because it's got a camera, we can call it the IC. The IC rocket. Well, I guess rocket's kind of redundant. The IC rocket. The IC. If you guys got names for rockets, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll gladly use whatever names you guys come up with, because I am terrible at coming up with names for things. Honestly, I'm the worst. So I'm sure you guys have a better sense of humor and a better idea of what we should name these rockets. The IC. And the golden thing about this rocket, because we have so much delta V, if we wanted to do like sounding missions, we can replace the camera, or even still include the camera, and add some like sounding payloads to do those rockets. Like, oh, go to X distance or go to X height with X amount of weight onto you. Beautiful. It gives extra cash. Let's now tool ourselves. We tool all. It'll cost us 7,000 bucks. But don't you worry. This means we go from 355 days to like, what, 90 days? 100 days. 100 days. That is totally worth it. Otherwise, we'd be waiting an entire year for one rocket to be built, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Even 100 days is still a little high. But this rocket's supposed to be expensive. That's why we have smaller, cheaper rockets for some jobs, and this rocket comes out for the big jobs that we require, like coming back from the atmosphere, or come back from space even. Now let's add a launching platform. Not that structural. Here we are. Let's do this guy, because we're gonna be going off at an angle for this rocket. We're not heading straight. No, 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 sir. If we remove this screen, let's just close some stuff here. Get rid of this clutter. We go onto the rotate tool, click on your main route, which is the avionics, and we're gonna remove the 15 degrees of toggle here. So we're freehand, and we're just gonna tilt it like 2 notches. There. That's gonna be enough. Plenty enough. What this does is that instead of launching straight up, it's gonna go at an angle. So that way we're not going way into space and coming back to the atmosphere, thereby burning ourselves. We're gonna go at an angle, we're gonna go downrange, which I think is also an important part of the photo mission. We'll see once we have the contract available, which will be after the next rocket we're launching. Gotta go downrange a little bit, and it won't go as high into the air. Therefore, when it returns back in the atmosphere, it won't be going vertically down, thereby burning up faster, requiring a heat shield, which we don't have access to just quite yet. So hopefully those 2 notches will be enough to not burn up. It does mean, though, that we're going to be flying through the atmosphere more, which is why I wanted to have the strength of these wings at 0.3 and not like any lower. Even then, I'm still kind of like, do I want it a little bit higher? I think we try 0.3. If it fails, it fails. No big deal. We just restart it. We'll relaunch another one. It's just a waste of 100 days, I guess, to build this rocket. But the engine can fail too, especially on this first launch. We never know what to expect. Other things to state about this. Yes, because we don't have any gimballing, which is why we're launching at an angle. Otherwise, we'd launch straight and then we'd gimbal slightly and go off. This engine does have gimbal. We have no control, though, because our avionics core is very small. It's just meant for the science. It's going to gravity turn for us. So if you go any deeper, it's going to go too horizontal and fly too much atmosphere and burn up. If you go any vertical, it might not go horizontal enough and then go straight up. When it comes down, it'll burn up. I think the 2 notches of turning should be enough. By my experience with Kerbal Space Program, it should be enough to on its own gravity turn and pass through the atmosphere enough and hit space. All right, let's save this. Let's launch it. Yes, we'll unlock the 5 Project 2 funds. Fantastic. And we'll leave this area. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and spend our money. What I was gonna say was I was gonna not spend our money because we're pretty close to the 0 mark, but the new mechan is pretty cheap to roll out, so we're gonna go ahead and spend our cash. Boop, 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 upgrades. Funds. And what to do with this guy? We only have one point R&D, and we have 8 points in the VAB. I kind of like putting 1 in science for every 4 of VAB we have. So let's go ahead and put 1 in science. So we unlock tech a little bit faster. As you can see, we'll unlock the postal rocketry testing, which will give us better and stronger rockets, as well as upgrades to our engines. Before actually our IC can go there. So we can probably upgrade that engine too. I don't think we're going to, because I don't think it's strictly necessary just yet. In the future it will be. But for this rocket, why make it more expensive when we can just keep it as it is? The way it is, it's going to do this job and then some, so no worries there. Go ahead and I'll see you on the launch pad for the new mechan. And hopefully this time it will get to space. If it doesn't get to space, don't worry, the IC will definitely get to space and come back and then some. Hopefully. So I'll see you on the launch pad for the new mechan. Alrighty, here we are, back to the launch pad. And everything looks like it's going to be a go. Oh, wait, hold on. Engine down here, please. And hopefully this rocket will lead us into space. I have faith in it. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, and hopefully that's not me cursing it just now. Ready to launch in 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, absolutely beautiful. And now this rocket, if everything goes as I planned, and we know it doesn't usually, should just about reach the 140 kilometer mark. Maybe even make it to like 145, 150, but no more than that for sure, for sure. Come on, rocket. I have faith in you. Your new paint job looks fantastic. Absolutely. What a beautiful rocket you are, dude. Lovely. Everyone knows that complimenting a rocket makes it go faster. It's a scientific fact. Hopefully on the way back down we don't hurt anybody. We've been pretty lucky hitting the swamp or hitting the water, but like, the city's like right there, guys. It's right there. Okay, reaching the end of the rocket, and maybe there's enough speed. That was just enough speed. Look at that, 143 kilometers in the air. We did it. We did it. Oh boy. All right. So it's crazy how like a little bit extra weight from the fins goes a long way there. Like, it wasn't that much weight. These fins aren't that heavy or aren't that big. Because they were just a little too big last time, they had just enough weight to make us not go into space. And we are decreasing speed because we are going through the atmosphere. But I don't think I'll be decreasing any speed enough to avoid the atmosphere there. Fantastic. And now that should unlock us some new parts. Not new parts, new contracts to go and get better payment, honestly. Like the suborbital thing, the return from suborbital, and afterwards the photo one. It's gonna be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna fast forward to the point we're getting space. And then I will accept the contract. Not accept the contract, but like praise the fact that we finally beat the contract. 4 rockets later. Sheesh. There we are. There we are. Contract completed. Here's your $4,000. Uncrewed record of 140 kilometers. Absolutely fantastic. Not much money, but it should be enough money to tie us over, plus with the contract acceptance, to tie us over for the next rocket building. All right, let's fast forward to the crash, and I'll see you guys all at the KSP. All right, Hoomans, welcome back to the KSP, and we have just finally completed our mission to go into space and then die promptly. So hopefully now we should have the available mission to go into space and not die. Yes? No? What? What? There should be a mission. Oh, here we are. Here we are. Was it already accepted? Oh, did I already accept this mission? Suborbital and return? Oh. My bad. Oh, yeah. I did already accept it. Totally my bad. I thought this wasn't accepted yet. So I guess we didn't need to complete the last mission to go into under 40. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's still good to finally have done it successfully. All right, so we're going to fast forward to the IC. We're going to duplicate this, because we're going to need at least one duplicate of that one. And then I will see you on the launch pad for the IC. Oh, heck yeah. Alrighty, Hoomans. So here we are with the IC. And look at how beautiful that red rocket is. Ain't she an absolute beaut? So, if you notice here in the staging, we have our rockets to go off before our clamps release. The reason for that is that for our rocket to get maximum thrust, it needs to spool a little bit. If we're doing it at the same time, because the engine's not maximum thrust, it'll just end up falling down and maybe bumping against something, And that's a whole mess of things that is not good. So instead we'll have the engine spool for like 3 or 4 seconds and then let go of the clamp and we'll be flying off into the air. So the film camera is indeed running, which is fantastic, because once we're in the air, we can't turn that on because we don't have any avionics available for us. So maximum thrust, ready to launch in 3, 2, 1. Engine spooling. There you go. That's about properly spooled, and off we go. So ideally, we should be turning with directly towards the west, directly on this line. If we're a little bit off this line, it's because we got bumped by something, and that might create some problems for our poor little rocket. Because now it's also fighting the way that the Earth's gravity is turning, which is not ideal. Now it's going straight on, which is fantastic. But if we're to go a little bit off, that might create some air resistance that we're not adapted to dealing with, thereby causing our rocket to flip and turn and do weird things. But hopefully, we're going to be fine. And hopefully his wings are strong enough to deal with our mass. We were a little bit below, so that should be fine. Should be fine. We'll find out about now if we were good enough or not. Oh, we were not. Oh boy. Okay, cut off the thrust. This might still be good enough to get to space. It is. All right. So we learned their wings were not strong enough to deal with the center of mass decreasing down below. But that's okay, because we still made it to space. Look at that, 150 meters. 150 kilometers. I keep saying meters by accident. 150 kilometers. Which is exactly a little bit more than what we need. Exactly a little bit more. I'm glad that happened. It would have been disastrous to have this mission fail now. So we know for our next rocket iteration of this rocket, make the wings a little bit stronger. So the center of mass, so the center of wings of lift, is that what it is? Center of lift is a little bit more below the center of mass when empty. Because the reason why I slipped is because the top canister was emptying full of fuel, thereby the center of mass was moving down towards the engines, and it flipped up. But luckily, these engines are strong enough to have made us this far. Just flipping around the atmosphere, no problem. Okay, let's speed up till we get to the space area. Although our camera should be working now, correct? Hey, running, taking photos, fantastic. Yeah, okay, it's only 10 minutes for the photography. Well, this is in space. Sorry, this is in atmosphere on high. Oh, cool. We got a new speed record. Fantastic. Electric charge is decreasing, but oh so slowly. I think it's fine. We're now in space. And now it's taking another 10 minutes for the low space. All right. So 20 minutes total for both parts, but we're not going to be in space for that long, or, you know, in in high atmosphere for that long on one run. Absolutely beautiful. All right, let's warp ourselves out of space and back in. But now's the stressful part, though, because all the science we're gathering from this photography camera ain't worth squat if we can't make it back alive. So hopefully we're not going to go too fast that the atmosphere burns us up. Hopefully. Or at the very least that the probe core, parachutes, and camera stay alive. Well, the camera's not critical for this mission. I don't want it to be destroyed. I like science. Science is fun. I also kind of like don't dare to warp faster, because if we warp, that could make things go weirdly. Okay, let's warp until we get into the atmosphere, like deeper in. But using the warp speed, times 1 to 4 warp speed, can make things go weird and icky. which is not always ideal. The parachutes can only be deployed when we're heading downwards and at a height of 5,000 meters or less, which can go really fast. We gotta be careful when we hit the 5,000. If this is green, we gotta let it go, or no, not red. I mean to say, we gotta look over our chutes. Okay, we didn't burn up, which is really good. I don't think we can burn up with this speed. Pay attention, pay attention. 6, 5. When it hits 4, it's still red though. Okay, 2. Let's go, 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 go. Fantastic. I don't want it to be, because I think we're going too fast. Ooh. Oh, we splashed. Oh, I thought I was going too fast for a second. Okay. Okay. That was very scary. Very, very scary. I thought we were going too fast. I guess we hit the water at least. Woo! Hey! So the reason why I waited longer for the parachutes to go is because if we release the parachutes when it's still red, they might rip off. And I don't know if we had any spare parachutes on this parachute kit. Actually, we didn't program any of it, which means we probably were too heavy with the parachutes, but it's fine. That's good. We survived. The bottom part of our rocket blew up, but that's okay because the camera's still there, the probe core is still there, and we splashed and landed. Look at that. It worked out fantastically. That landing was a little rough. Maybe next time I'll just try pressing spacebar when we hit the 5,000 mark, and then red parachute be damned, you know. Let deploy a little bit, so at least we slow down a little bit, because we hit there pretty hard. That was pretty fast. That we should not have survived that, but we did. So hey, look, good for us. That's a win. What a win! And because we managed to recover vessel from some orbital flight, we got an extra 8.8 science. Plus whatever science we collected here. So we have science from the photography, 0.5, and a whole 1 from flying high. Oh, okay, cool. We got 2 flying highs. So we got 1.5 from flying high. I guess shores and then water. And then 1 from... So the camera on its own got us 2.5 science, which is quite neat. And because we hit a total of 20 science collected throughout our entire campaign, you notice here, we got a free upgrade, which we'll put promptly into the VAB. Boop. And look at all that beautiful cash. I'm gonna go ahead and accept our mission. We're gonna go ahead and accept the photography mission, the low space film return mission, which is reach 100 kilometers altitude, done. 200 kilometer downrange, I'm pretty sure we did that as well, with film camera and recover that sample, which we did. The advanced cache is not much, but the completion cache is definitely 1 upgrade worth, so that's fantastic. Maybe even 2. Accept that. Boom. Oh man, I want to look at, okay, we can still look at it. I want to look at the mission for, music's so loud here. Not milestone. Not early satellites. Is it sounding? Yeah, low space biological experimentation. So we need to, oh, it doesn't tell us, frick. Because the thing is, we also need to have a weight onto it. So we suborbital. Wait, what? Must not accept a contract, low space film return. Oh, okay, I can't have this contract while something else also accepted. That's totally fine. Okay, I think it also requires weight. I don't remember how much weight we needed to require. Because we're going to go ahead and build that rocket now. Actually, we're going to go ahead and finish off this science here, the post-war material science first, which is going to be completed in 30 days. Let's just warp that. All right, cool. So now we have the new engines and we have the new material science, which means we can have lighter tanks, which means we can pack more fuel in there and be lighter in general, which is all good. We can now probably build the rocket that would also bring us the biological samples. Let's go back into the VAB. This rocket will be a modified version of the Numacan. We're going to modify the engines, and we're going to modify the tanks, and we're going to attach... We're going to attach radial parachutes. I don't know if radial parachutes will work very well, because that'll increase the drag by a major factor. Because they'll be sticking out of our tin can. All right, so here is the Numacan. She's a beaut, I know. We're just going to detach this for now. So to upgrade our engines, real simple. We're going to right-click on the engine, click on the engine show GUI. And here we have the purchase XASR, which we got from completing one of the tech nodes. Boop. Which costs $1,000, by the way, 1,000 Kerbal bucks. Which is why we didn't spend all our money just yet, because it does cost some money to invest in this. I wasn't sure how much it would cost. It could cost 1,000. It could cost 20,000. I have no idea. So it is still pressure fed. It still only has one ignition and it's still subject to ullage. So we have to remind ourselves that one. I believe this rocket is much stronger than, well, no, it's considerably stronger than the original RB. And the fuel mixture is different, which is why we don't have any Delta V stats here. So let's remove all tanks. Remove all tanks here. Oh, it didn't check to me how long is burn. 40 seconds of burn time, as opposed to the 52? 47 of before. All right. We were burning a little over over the amount there. If I fill you up, both tanks. Oh, you're actually... Okay, I guess it burns to the fuel much faster. So you can push this to 45 seconds. That's the minimum. We can push it a little bit higher. I don't want to go over too much, to be honest. I keep saying that, then I always go way over. So 2.6. We want it to be equal to have the tooling to be the same tooling for both tanks, ideally. 0.8 maybe. All right, that's just enough. We'll push it a little higher. Let's go to 3. Make it an even 3. All right, so we're 3 seconds of burning over. That should be fine. With a Delta V of already here without the boosters of 2.4, which is what we had, I think, originally with the boosters. Yeah, so 26 Delta V. However, we're not complete here. We do have to add, sadly, a biosample. Oh, it's a little bigger. I thought it was the same exact size. Oh, I know it's the same size of, though, not of the whack corporal. It's the same exact size. Oh my gosh, of the Araby. Not this one, but this one. And we reattach this and this. So see, same size. Beautiful. We gotta change the diameter of the tanks a little bit. Diameter. I think it's above. I think it's 3.8. The number rings a bell. Oh, look at that. I remember my early Kerbal. Look at that. 3.8. Fantastic. Same for you. Nope, not length. My bad. Same for you. I keep saying 3.8, but like 3 decameters and 8 centimeters. But no, 380 millimeters. My bad. That should be about the same size. I mean, the biosampler itself is a little smaller. So I guess I can make this. No, we have to have the same diameter for tooling. All right. So now we have way too much burn time because we made the diameter a little bit bigger. This one here, the bottom should be different though. Oh, you're a cylinder. You shouldn't be a cylinder. You should be a smooth cone. The top of 3.8. And the bottom of 3. The length of 3. All right, 1:10. So yeah, now it's like gets a little fat in the middle and goes back down to being a little thinner here. Because the engine is still like the original Araby engine. It's just modified to the XASR. Okay, so 3 meters in length is a little too long. Go 3.6. 2.6. Still way too long. 2.2? Oh, we know what we didn't even do? Oh my gosh, all that is screw it. I forgot to put on the new aluminum tanks. High pressure aluminum tanks. Bam. We can make the utilization up to max, so we can even put even more gas in smaller tanks, which is beautiful. Reapply. Make this even smaller and even lighter. Fantastic. Oops. The length. 1.8 meters. All right, 47 seconds. That is 2 seconds over the rated burn time. Okay, we can go like, put it to 2 then. All right. That is 7 seconds over the rated burn time. A little bit extra juice. Look at how beautiful delta V we got now from being lighter, from being smaller, and therefore even more lighter. Ah, chef's kiss. Beautiful. I'm just gonna make sure. Oh no, we need to add the sounding payload. Right. I knew this. So I'm gonna go ahead here and add, instead of the procedural tank, we're gonna add, sorry, instead of the conventional structure, we're gonna go ahead and add service module, because it is cheaper than the procedural tank. And it's made exactly for putting in stuff like sounding payloads. And QI. I don't know how much I need though. I forgot to check out how much I needed for the sounding payload. Surely not 188. Surely not that. I'm gonna go ahead and say like 50. Oof. That might not be enough delta V. No, we didn't make the right size either way. Diameter. You are gonna be a complete cylinder rather than a cone. It's the same size from here to here. Well, this is a little smaller, but let's just say the same size. How much do you have in you? The payload of... Okay, hold on. Remove all tanks. Tank UI. 42. Okay, let's just say 40. I honestly don't know how much I need. Let's just say it's 40. Delta V of 2.5 is not bad. We can't increase this. No, not yet. We don't have the tank. We don't have the tanks for the service modules yet, like the upgraded versions of them. That's fine. That's fine. We got to add some chutes though, some parachutes, and we can't add the inline parachutes because they are far too big. But they'll look stupid. We can try the Mercury. Nah. That's only meant for a core. It said so. Which is the lightest inline chute, radial chute? Mass of 0.119. Mass of point. Okay, that's considerably lighter. 2 of these. Make symmetrical. Now gonna be very not aerodynamic. And we've lost some delta V. That's not going to be enough. I know that for a fact. We got another booster. We can do that. Let's do what I didn't do last time and optimize this parachute for this rocket. So you're only gonna want one spare chute, not 5. Good to have at least one, although it's gonna be a pretty cheap rocket. Gonna be a pretty cheap rocket. If it fails, it fails. We're bringing valuable science. Let's just bring one spare chute. With dry mass. All right. Oh, it's pre-deployment 25,000. We don't need that. Pre-deployment altitude at like, let's just say 10,000 to be safe. Okay. Apply settings. I don't know if that changed the way of anything at all. I should have looked before, but anyways, that should make the drones, they're not drug shoots, nor drone shoots. That should make these shoots be optimized for this craft itself. Actually, remove this. And now optimize it. Up to all symmetry parts. I don't have to change anything. That's fine. Boom. And now let's add a second Tiny Tim. Boom. We add a third. That might be enough for what we have to do. It's a non-difference. And by adding a third, we're making it a little awkward. This could be smaller. All right, let's try that. If it fails, it fails. But now for staging, so like I said before, I believe the upgraded Araby is going to be too strong to hot burn with our current decoupler. So what we're going to do, it's going to be unclamp along with the bottom Tiny Tim. After that's going to be bottom decouple along with the medium, the middle Tiny Tim. And then it's going to be decouple and the Araby. Hopefully I should do it. That should do it. And what I want to do as well was check the aerodynamics. Oops, not that. All right, so that's already way off. Way off. That is not good. That's gonna make us point down towards the ground, which is not bueno. All right. So, wingies, buddies. Let's empty the mass. So we have the true weight here when it's empty. 0.2 is gonna be fine. We're going straight up and straight down. I want a J, that's what I want. Okay, length. Let's make it a little higher. I see. Maybe 0.03. And then, I'll just do this my own and I'll come tell you guys the stats I have afterwards. All right, Hoomans. So, I am back. I have determined the proper length and offsets for this. I put a length of 0.3 and an offset of 0.45. And that gave us just enough when the mass is at its lowest to be at a lowest here for the stage. And I also changed the boosters. Something similar with a length of 0.3 and an offset of 0.55. And that gave us enough on both sides to be below the center of mass, but not too far below either to cause unnecessary drag. So that should just about do it then. I'm still worried about the delta V, but I don't think we need to head to space. I think we need to be a little bit below space if I recall correctly. We'll see. Also, I could be wrong with the volume of this tank I require. So we're not going to tool that tank yet. We are going to, actually, if ever, honestly. We are, however, going to tool these tanks here, these conical tanks. Go ahead. So it's 46 days to build this rocket. If we tooled this tank, it's going to cost us $3,000, which I don't think we're going to be using that often to merit the tooling, because it's going to be changing. As we need more or less payloads, that tank will be changing, so I don't think it's really worth it to tool that. Not at this stage. Not for this rock. We'll see. We'll see how I feel, because we're also going to take some like sounding rockets later on, which will require that. We might put the sounding payloads on the camera and not on the biological sample one. So we're going to call this the NumaCan V2. NumaCan V2. We're going to save that rocket and we're going to launch it, because we might as well pre-build it while we are waiting for the information about how much we need for this procedural tank. Oh, we didn't color that one though. That's fine. That could be silver. Center part can be silver. Let us leave this area, and I will meet on the launch pad because we're going to launch the camera ship and return with the camera ship once again with more data. Oh geez, guys, I almost forgot I had to edit the wings for the icy. That could have been terrible. So what I did is I increased the mass to 3.5 for to 0.35 for the wings, and I made the length, instead of whatever it was before, to 1.4. I didn't change the swept or anything because I still want us to be a little bit below, considerably below apparently, from the mass there. Center of gravity there. Let's add the tanks back in. Boom and boom. And we should be gloriously good to go. Save the edits. All right, friends. So we've seen this launch before. I'm going to speed up for you guys. You can watch it from the glorious ground to the skies to the ground again, and hopefully you guys can see that commentary complete. Oh, didn't see that before. Sorry, my bad. Got distracted. Speed it up so you guys don't have to see the same exact rocket all the time, a million times in a row. And we can squeeze the launch of the Tin Can V2 in before the end of this episode, which we're getting dangerously close to being over time. All right. Oops, I didn't stage this. Oop. All right. Ready to launch in 3, 2, 1. Spooling. And off we go. Once again, I cut the engines off because we started turning. I might have to apply a turn to the fins. The rocket itself spins while it's going up, so it doesn't drastically do what it's doing right now. I don't know why I did that. I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'll do that, for the next episode. We'll look into why it was spinning like that. But either way, I'm pretty sure we're going to accomplish what we need to do, which is head, what was the contract terms? All right. Reach all 200 kilometers. Check. And then downrange of 200 kilometers. Considering that we might not be able to hit that one. Ooh. Ew. Gross. Well, either way, we'll get some science off of this. Although the money issue is still an issue. The money issue is still an issue. All right, we'll see about that. I'll keep letting it fast forward here. Woo! Wow, all right. We actually managed to complete the lowest film return. I was watching it tick by, and we just barely managed to get it. We're like exactly at 200 kilometers downrange, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Also, I early deployed a patch by accident, and then luckily I had a spare chute, and then I lately deployed a second chute. But we managed to land and not lose any parts. So look at that beautiful ship. We're gonna go ahead and recover. Oh man, we just barely ticked that. Barely ticked that. I have to look into why that spun out of control in the first place. We'll see for next time. Cover vessel. Fantastic. Way more science too. Love to see it. Love to see it. I know we're getting close to getting the full photography. Like less than halfway for the Earth space low over water, which is nice. All right, upgrade time. We're gonna buy 2 upgrades. We're gonna have enough money. Boop, boop. All right, so I have 12 in the VAB, which means I could put another one into R&D. Shoop. And more into the VAB. So again, 99 days, or even 89 days for some of these techs, which is good. So by the end of this next vessel launch, we'll have the early tracking system, which means we should have the stuff required. Oh. Actually, we won't, because the next launch is going to be in 35 days. Never mind. I didn't say anything. So at the end of the IC launch, the next IC launch, we're going to have enough stuff required to actually build the 3,000 kilometer downrange rocket, which will be exciting. So it's a perfect place for the next episode. We will launch the Numacan V2. Hopefully all goes well. And well or not, that's going to be the end of the episode. And I'll see you at the launch pad for the Numacan V2. I may have accidentally clicked the warp button for the tech rather than the rocket. So we actually have the technology now for the next rocket. We wasted precious time. Oh well, at least we're not in a real space race here, right? Right. Totally. All right, here we are at the launch pad. I'm expecting things to go wrong. I don't like these drogue shoots. Oh, we didn't set the contract. I'm so good at this game, I swear. So the contract actually is for 35 units of sounding payload. We have 40. So we have over-designed that one. That's fine, right? And reach altitude, I was right about 100 kilometers. Okay, we might be able to do that with what we currently have. But the drag from the parachutes might be pretty annoying. Screw it. Let's launch what we have. Doesn't work, we'll launch a second one. And we'll fix what we have to fix. Ah, shoot. All right, accept. Alrighty. That was a close call. We were about to launch a vessel without completing any contracts, which would have been very, very silly. We over-designed this rocket, but that's okay. Hopefully it gets what it takes. Hopefully I'll take us where we need to take it. And if not, we'll relaunch another one. Just waste more time and more money. It's not a problem. It's fine. All right. Throttle max. Ready to launch in 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Flawless. Nothing broke down yet. All we gotta do is reach 100 kilometers. 100 kilometers and return. Actually, we don't have to return, do we? Oh no, we recover. We can do it to recover. Do we even start this? We did not. Whoopsie date. Okay, luckily let's start it, which is nice. Very nice of the rocket. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm nervous. Can you tell? Oh man, we actually were close to space. Okay, that I did not expect with the amount of payload we had on us. Did not expect that whatsoever. It would have been grand if we got to space, which means more science for us to collect. But dang, all right. I'm quite happy with that results. Yes, and this bio sample requires 20 minutes to complete in total. So we got to do a lot of these sounding rockets. So basically, no matter what we do, when we make these small little pin rockets, these Numacan V2s, pin, we got to slap on a biological sample on that one because it requires so much time to complete. All right, on the return flight down, it's going to be pretty simple. I'm not expecting any hiccups. You can go ahead and warp speed for that one. We're not even going to leave the atmosphere, so I don't think we're going to get enough speed to when we come down to worry about it. Man, imagine this rocket landing on your house. What would you do if a rocket landing on your house? Like, oh, that was not intended. I mean, I know it's going pretty slowly because of the parachute, but it still is quite heavy. It still is quite heavy. It can easily break down through a roof, even at its relatively low speeds. Like 4 meters per second is still like 4 times 60 meters per minute, which is a number. 240 meters, which is still like 2.5 kilometers a minute, which is, no, it's not 100 kilometers an hour. What? Did I do my math wrong? I'll probably have text on the screen to show the math. I'm sure it's not 100 kilometers an hour, 120 kilometers an hour. That does not sound right. That would definitely break through someone's roof. Oh, what just happened? Oh, we landed through the earth. Apparently, but at least beneath the land, there is sea. That's funky. All right, recover the vessel if we can. Love it. I didn't even notice we had extra fuel left over. Meaning, if we had more engine knowledge, which we'll have after this mission for sure, we could have even made it even higher. All right, what a beaut. Wait, the contract not complete? Oh, it didn't complete because we had already rolled it out, and it doesn't count as a new vessel when we already rolled it out. Dang. Well, that's no big deal. We know we can do it. We can probably even get the space next time, so even better for us. We still got some science out of it. It's not a complete waste of time. No, it's just kind of silly. Although we did get some money out of something. I kind of clicked through it, I didn't see what it was, but we got some money out of it. That's pretty great. Can't complain there. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode of KSP. If you did, let me know what you enjoyed about the episode you saw today down in the comments down below. Leave me a like. It helps me know that I'm doing a good job, and it helps my content get out there, and so that more people can come and see me, can enjoy the fun stuff we're seeing together. I will be posting another episode soon, and that episode will be blasting off again into the skies with a more sounding rocket. We'll probably do like a compilation of like me launching a bunch of rockets out there to get some money, to get some tech, to get some contract completions, and then we will launch the 3,000 kilometer downrange missile, which hopefully should get us to 3,000 kilometers downrange, and start unlocking contracts for satellite stuff, which is exciting because satellite is space. That is the true advancement. Is that for the next step into exploring the great beyond is getting something into orbit around Earth and maintaining that orbit, which is bonkers. All right, guys. I will see you next time. Peace.